people have been shot dead in the central Kenyan town of Nanyuki amid protests against US plans to establish an Ebola isolation centre at a military base by, the BBC has learnt, one of the victims was shot in an area close to the Laikipia air base where a demonstration was taking place. He died after being brought to the town's hospital by friends. Kenya's High Court has ordered the government to disclose details of a proposed United States-linked Ebola quarantine facility. A day after hundreds of people took to the streets in the central town of Nanyuki to protest about the planned site. The Reuters news agency said 2 people died from gunshot wounds during Monday's unrest, citing protest organiser Patrick Wahome and a security source.
Microsoft has introduced the Surface Laptop Ultra, a new premium Surface PC powered by NVIDIA's RTX Spark superchip. The laptop was announced around NVIDIA's Computex keynote and is expected to launch later this year. The Surface Laptop Ultra expands Microsoft's Windows on ARM push beyond Qualcomm-powered Surface devices. It is also one of the first laptops built around NVIDIA's new RTX Spark platform, which targets local AI, creator workloads, and gaming.
The Punjab government has extended the enforcement of Section 144 across the province, maintaining a complete ban on flying drones in open areas for another 30 days due to security concerns. According to a statement issued by the Punjab Home Department, the restriction on outdoor drone operations will remain in effect under Section 144 of the Code of Criminal Procedure 1898.
Samsung is expected to launch its next foldable phones in July, and new leaked images have now shown what appears to be the company's rumoured widescreen foldable in real life. Images shared on South Korea's DC Inside community forum show a Samsung foldable phone being used in public, according to B-Bomb Gadgets. The device appears to be covered in a protective anti-leak case, which hides most of the final design.
Bollywood's long-entrenched culture of grueling work schedules is facing rare scrutiny as top actors and filmmakers clash over calls to cap shooting days at 8 hours. The debate gained momentum after leading actor Deepika Padukone reportedly exited a major project last year over a demand for shorter working hours following motherhood, thrusting the issue of work-life balance into the spotlight in India's film industry.
Federal Cabinet has approved the nationwide implementation of a track and trace system for pharmaceutical products across Pakistan. Minister for Health Mustafa Kamal announced on Tuesday, according to an official handout, the system aims to strengthen public health and safeguard citizens from counterfeit medicines.
Based on the behaviour of winds on 7 large and hot gas exoplanets, astronomers have obtained the strongest evidence to date that planets beyond our solar system possess magnetic fields, like Earth and 5 other planets in our solar system. The finding, based on observations by telescopes in Chile and Hawaii, deepens the understanding of exoplanets by showing that important characteristic present in all but 2 of the solar system's 8 planets. Myanmar President Min Aung Hlaing, who is in India on a 5-day visit, has held talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, focusing on areas including trade, connectivity, border security and defence. This is his first visit abroad since becoming president earlier this year, and it is being closely watched as a sign of how regional powers intend to engage with Myanmar's military-backed leadership following a widely criticised election and 5 years of civil war triggered by a coup in 2021.
Previous World Cup appearances, 16 best performance. Winners, 1998 21st appearance, 1930 Uruguay top goal scorer, Just Fontaine 13. Most appearances, Hugo Lloris 20 player to watch. Kylian Mbappe FIFA World Ranking. 1. The FIFA World Cup begins on June 11. You can follow the action on Al Jazeera's dedicated World Cup 2026 page with all the latest news, match build-up and live text commentary, and keep up to date with group standings, real-time match results and schedules.
Serena Williams has shaken up the tennis world by announcing her competitive return to the game after a nearly 4-year absence. The 23-time Grand Slam winner and mother of two said on Monday that she will compete in women's doubles at this month's Queen's Club Championships in the United Kingdom, where media reported she will play with 19-year-old Canadian Victoria Boko.
Brussels, Belgium. Bilal knows life behind bars. Over the past 10 years, the 34-year-old has served a sentence in 5 prisons across Belgium. He most vividly recalls conditions in Mons, a 19th century prison near the French border, where he said 9 square metre, 97 square foot, cells housed 3 to 4 detainees. He remembers bouts of scabies, bedbugs and monkeypox spreading widely in guards who faced severe exhaustion.
Field line staff of the Islamabad Electric Supply Company, ISCO, staged a protest today, Tuesday, outside the company's headquarters into the G7 sector against the proposed privatisation of the organisation. The protesting employees refused to perform field duties and stopped a routine operational work. They said they would continue their boycott until their concerns over privatisation were addressed.
Investigators probing alleged corruption of more than Rs 1 billion in the Sutra Punjab programme have recovered cash and assets worth over 400 million from suspects arrested in the case, according to sources in the anti-corruption establishment, ACE. Sources said 8 individuals were arrested after a case was registered over alleged large-scale financial irregularities in the Cleanliness Initiative. During the investigation, authorities recovered cash, residential properties, commercial plots and luxury vehicles valued at more than Rs 400 million.
The Austrian Academy of Sciences has announced the opening of applications for its Joint Excellence in Science and Humanities, JESH program, which promotes academic cooperation between early career researchers from abroad and scholars in Austria. The program is designed for researchers with a maximum of 10 years of experience after completing their PhD and supports international research exchange through short-term academic visits.
NVIDIA has detailed the performance specifications of its Vera CPU, a new data center processor built for agentic AI workloads. The ELEC reported that NVIDIA claims Vera delivers the world's highest instructions per clock, or IPC, for a CPU and is also 80% faster than x86 CPUs. During his GTC 2026 keynote in Taipei on June 1, NVIDIA Chief Executive Jensen Huang said Vera can fetch and execute 10 instructions per clock cycle. NVIDIA's own GTC Taipei update also lists Vera with 10 instructions per clock and positions it as a CPU designed for the age of AI agents.
Rising temperatures and inflation have driven up the prices of room coolers, Koosgrass, cooler motors and maintenance services, placing additional financial pressure on consumers during the summer season. Temporary stalls selling and installing Koosgrass have appeared across markets and roadsides, while traders report a significant increase in prices compared to last year. They also warn that low quality and counterfeits Koos has entered the market amid growing demand.
Former Prime Minister and PMLN President Nawaz Sharif on Tuesday lamented the lack of development in Gilgit-Baltistan. As he made a brief visit to the region ahead of elections there, general elections in GB are scheduled for June 7, after a 4-month delay attributed to harsh winter weather.
Islamabad. Only 66 of 333 members of the National Assembly, or 20%, attended all 9 sittings of the House's 27th session held between May 11 and May 22, 2026, did not attend any sitting. A report by the Free and Fair Election Network, FAFN, said as many as 267 Mevanese, ATPC, missed at least one sitting during the session, according to the attendance report released on Tuesday.
Italian police have arrested 2 Pakistani nationals for the murder of 4 Pakistani farm workers found dead in a burnt-out minivan in southern Italy. Corriere della Sera daily reported on Tuesday the burnt-out vehicle was found at a petrol station near the village of Amendolara in a vast farming area in the Calabria region.
The US Department of Justice, DOJ, says it will abide by a court ruling halting the Trump administration's $1.8 billion, $13 billion, fund meant to compensate people who allege unfair treatment by the federal government during previous administrations. In a statement on Monday, the department said it disagrees strongly with the decision made by the court.
Ukrainian authorities say at least 12 people have been killed and dozens wounded in Russian missile and drone strikes across Ukraine, days after President Volodymyr Zelensky warned that Moscow was preparing a major assault. Russia launched 656 drones and 73 missiles at Ukraine overnight. Ukraine's Air Force said on Tuesday.
Senegal's President Bassirou Diomaye Faye has announced a new government featuring several members and allies of a party led by sacked Prime Minister and estranged ally Ousmane Sonko, who has pledged his group would not join it. Faye's announcement came on Monday during a live television broadcast, less than 2 weeks after he fired Sonko, his former mentor, and dismissed the cabinet following disagreements, including over the troubled economy.
At least 5 Mozambican nationals have been killed in xenophobic attacks in South Africa over the weekend, the Mozambican government said, marking the first deaths officially linked to countrywide protests against undocumented immigration. About 800 Mozambicans got caught up in violence that broke out in the southern coastal city of Mossel Bay on Friday, the government press office said in a statement received on Tuesday.
There is an 80% chance of the warming El Niño phenomenon developing between June and August, increasing the risk of extreme weather events, the World Meteorological Organization, WMO, said on Tuesday. Fueled by unusually warm ocean waters in the tropical Pacific, El Niño's global temperature and rainfall patterns, the United Nations Weather and Climate Agency said. The United Nations Weather and Climate Agency said. The multi-million-dollar openings of indie horror flicks Obsession and Backrooms have Hollywood buzzing about the 20-something YouTuber directors who are driving Generation Z audiences to the theatre in droves. The endless yellow hallways of A24's Backrooms terrified tens of thousands of people in its opening weekend to rack up $18 million at the box office. Former Prime Minister and PMLN President Nawaz Sharif on Tuesday arrived in Gilgit-Baltistan for a brief visit as the party gears up for the upcoming June 7 elections. General elections in the region are scheduled for June 7, after a 4-month delay attributed to harsh winter weather. Russia launched a large-scale deadly attack on the Ukrainian capital Kyiv early Tuesday, damaging residential buildings, authorities said, as part of a broad offensive on targets across Ukraine. At least 13 people have been killed in the overnight assault that Ukraine's military said involved more than 600 drones and dozens of missiles, including advanced hypersonics. 4 people were killed in Kyiv and 9 in the central city of Dnipro, with more than 100 wounded across the country, according to Ukrainian officials.
United States President Donald Trump said on Monday that Hezbollah and Israel have agreed to halt hostilities in a major de-escalation. Netanyahu, after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Beirut on Monday. Netanyahu's office on Monday said attacks on Beirut would proceed if Hezbollah continued attacks on Israeli cities, while military operations in southern Lebanon would continue as planned. The South African national team members have left for their World Cup training base in Pachuca, Mexico, in advance of their opening game against the tournament co-hosts on June 11. The delegation that left on Monday did not include assistant coach Helman Makalele, who has yet to obtain a United States visa.